Hello, welcome back to Revo Works. It's Monday morning. We are going to be working on Bret's EP3 Type R. I apologise for the state of the hair, the beard. I'll probably get that sorted tomorrow. Sorry about that. It's been a pretty busy few days. I'll just swing you around a second and we'll show you Bret's car. We'll just be doing some fairly basic stuff on this one. We're going to be changing a clutch and flywheel and some bits and pieces. I should probably face the camera a bit more because you may want me to look at you. Okay, so let's just flip around and we'll have a look at the car a sec. So here you go, here's Bret's EP3 Type R. We're going to change over the clutch and flywheel, put a braided Hell clutch line in there which replaces the entire line from the reservoir all the way down, so it'll go from the master cylinder down into the slave cylinder at the bottom. We'll show you some more information about that later as we fit it. It's a track car, this one, so everything is based on it being on track. The parts for the car over here, all tinily put on the shelf, and we'll go through all that stuff a little bit later on in the video and show you how we're getting on with the job. Okay, so the gearbox is out of Bret's car. We are about to strip the clutch out and we'll see what sort of condition this is, give us an idea of what sort of wear. It's got loads of miles on this car, 140 plus thousand miles. It does look like there's been somebody here in the past, so he's probably had a clutch in the past at some point, but we'll catch up in a little bit and show you what it's like. So as expected, we're looking pretty worn and tired under here. That's the clutch removed, and the clutch plate has obviously seen better days. Bret does track this car, so it's had a bit of a kick in, and as we said, it has got 140 odd thousand miles on it as well. Flywheel also, obviously the surface there is not too clever. Bolts as well on this one, the bolts were pretty screwed, so they're all being replaced. We just ordered some from Honda and we'll order some for the clutch plate as well, so they're going to be in to replace all that. We'll have a look up top in a second and see what else is going on. So when Bret's booked his car in with us, he's told us about some problems he's had with braking, lack of braking on the track. So we thought we'd have a quick look. We're going to just show you now what we found, and we think we may have a solution for him. This is Bret's front right caliper. I don't really think I need to say much about it, to be honest. It's completely knackered. We're going to get some replacements for these, and next time you see that, that's all going to be changed over. Front left caliper isn't as bad, but we're going to change this as well, so we've got a matching pair of brand new ones on the front. We'll show you the discs in just a second, and the pads as well. So front discs and pads are very tired. This pad is actually stuck into the slider. That's jammed in there. That's probably why that front brake wasn't working so well. So that will obviously come out. And the slider pins are actually okay. They quite often seize, but their slider pins have got movement in there. We're going to strip this down and clean all that up and put new grease and stuff in there. We'll clean all this up as well. New pads going in. We're going to put some DS3000s into that because it's going to be used hard on the track. And of course, discs are not in very good order. You can see a lip there and a lip on this edge, so they're all going to be changed out to match the pads nicely. These are looking pretty tired as well, so we're probably going to change those over. We're not actually sure what brake pads Bret's running on this. I'll ask him when he comes in, but you can see just there that the brake surface is actually coming away from the backing plate. I'll have a word with him and see what these ones were, but of course we wouldn't mention that on a video anyway because that would be very professional, but that's obviously not ideal for that happening. Okay, we'll catch up a little bit later on and see how we're getting on. So we've had a bit of a cleaning session on the engine side of the gearbox housing. As you can see from the previous picture, it was absolutely disgusting in here. So we have unloaded a load of brake cleaner in here, got the brushes in and given it a good clean up. We wouldn't put that back on the way it was, so we would clean that back up to start again. Workshop's looking a bit worse for wear at the moment with all the dirt that's come out of there. If you ever wonder what Sunbreeze is on our invoices, it is the cleaners and stuff we use as well as all the other stuff listed. Inside the box, we're about to start cleaning this up, so we'll show you an after shot of this in a minute. This is looking pretty disgusting in here, and we've taken the push bearing off. The fitment of this is absolutely, it's solid, so trying to release that with the clutch fork, that would have been pretty hard to do on the foot. So we're going to clean this all up, put a new bearing in as well. The surface here is all marked and I think it's all just clutch dust, to be honest, with some grease and stuff on there as well. It's always worth noting not to put too much grease on there because that will attract the dust and make it all stick to it anyway. Bearing looks completely shot as well, so we'll change all that out, clean this up, and I'll show you what it looks like cleaned up in a minute. Okay, we're at the back of Bret's car now, looking at his brakes while we're waiting for those front calipers to arrive. Pads, as you can see, are pretty worn. There's a tiny bit of life there, but the caliper's extended so far. We're going to change those pads over to just a factory pad on the back. We're going to give this a really good clean out. As you can see, this will be what a ton of cars out there look like. Your brake lines and stuff just absolutely buried under road grime. So I think what we'll do with this is save a lot of the hassle getting all this off. I think we'll put it on some blocks outside or some axle stands outside when the job's finished, and give that all a blast down and clear all that mess out from underneath the wheel arches and around the brake lines mainly, because that's just going to corrode away the brake lines, all wet dirt sitting there. As I said, the car's a track car, so it generally gets looked after in between track sessions and it's kept sort of out of the way. It's got some coilovers there which just rusted up a little bit and stuff, but so we're going to get in here, change the slider plates over and change the brake pads. It needs to be bled anyway, so we'll get some degreasers and anti-seize onto the nipple so that they're not gonna snap or give us any grief when we try and undo those. So I'll come back when it's all finished and show you what that looks like. The disc isn't too bad. That's gonna clean up fine to go with the new pads. And I'll see you in a little bit to show you what this all looks like after it's done. Just before we do a little video, show you how deep inside the dirt the actual brake joint is. If you sort of let yours get like this, there's a risk of it corroding all around this joint, and then you're going to have problems with your brakes. Obviously, if the car's used for track, that is not what you want. So we always clean this right down so we can see, and then the customers are going to know then that they're going to be able to see all the brake lines and stuff. Get a jet wash in here, I reckon, and then that's going to clean that right back, and we'll be able to see what's happening, and we'll spray up the joint there to make sure that's going to be, or try and sort of prevent it from corroding a bit. So not so bad in there, but it's quite deep in crud, for a better word. But we'll get this cleaned up. It's a bit boring to show you guys us just cleaning that up, but we certainly would do that every time. So if you're ever doing your brakes, make sure this is all clear. And this is probably a good example of why when you clean your car, you should clean your wheel arches.
Yo, we're on our way down to Honda Southampton to go and collect some bits for Revo Works for their Honda project they're doing at the moment. Seems like I'm their parts driver at the moment. But yeah, I'll give you an update when we get there. See you in a bit. So we've just got back from Honda Southampton. All the parts are here. Yay. I'll give you a bit of a behind the scenes of what Revo Works is actually like. Going to the workshop, there's a Civic that we're doing at the moment. Yo, we've got the parts.
Oh, awesome. Are they bits from Honda, mate?
They are bits from Honda. So what are we doing today?
You're doing the camera on the side, mate.
Doing the camera on the slide. A bit of a behind the scenes of what Revo Works is actually like. So what are we doing here, Ian?
We've changed over the nipple for the brake, because this was the one that came out. I don't know if you can see on there, it's all corroded. I've tried to clean it up on the machine, it's shot, so we got a brand new one.
Awesome.
We're going to stick that in.
Awesome.
And then I reckon I should get on now, Martin.
Yeah, I'm going to just show you what Ian's like with his attention to detail. Everything has its own little pot. Everything has to be laid out. And I think he's probably sponsored by Halford because the amount of toolboxes he has. But yeah, everything has to be labelled. Everything has to be in the right drawer. Some say it's OTT, but we like it. Cool. We'll catch up later with a bit of an update.
Okay, we're just taking some time off of the brake, so we found some problems with the rear brake. I'll show you that later on. So we ordered some new calipers for the rear as well. We're going to get on to popping the clutch and stuff back in. Going to do a quick weight comparison, which you may be interested in. This is the stock flywheel for a facelift EP3, and weight-wise for that one, coming in at 4.7 kilos. And we're going to be changing that out. For lightweight aluminium one, we use the Fidanza ones, so use those. This is the clutch that the flywheel, sorry, we're going to put in. And this one weighs in at 3.47. So obviously a significant difference in weight. Obviously this is spinning weight, so it's very very noticeable in the car with the engine spinning up. We'll pop this in and then I'll show you some more stuff once we underneath the car. So Martin did his funny little spoof video earlier, going to Honda, grabbing the bits and pieces. Actually, it wasn't so much of a spoof because he was going to Honda grabbing some bits for me. We're changing out the flywheel bolts. These are the flywheel bolts that came out of it. I think it's been changed before. Some of the bolts are all chewed up on the heads and stuff, so we've ordered a brand new set from Honda, and we're also going to stick in some new fly plate ones, wherever they are. Martin, they're not here. That's funny. So maybe we'll. So we're going to also put in some clutch plate bolts as well, brand new ones of those, because the ones that came out weren't too healthy. Obviously we've got some washers there because we're doing a fluid change on the transmission, so we've got tons of those in stock anyway, so we've just restocked that. Other parts are all cleaned up the clutch fork, that's ready to go in, and we've got a new 3-piece Honda genuine clutch, which is what we tend to fit. As we've said before in previous videos, good for 300 brake horsepower, so that's what we're going to use, and the bearing as well. So it's a 3-piece genuine OEM clutch, flywheel, one of our braided lines as well for the clutch. This was developed by one of our suppliers a few years ago. We're going to fit that in there as well. We'll get it all fitted and then we'll see in a bit.
No, you're stuck, aren't you, Ian?
Yeah.
What did you forget to pick up?
I need the tools.
I'll go get the tools. We need this.
Thanks, Martin. So we're just popping the fork in, the clutch bearing release fork. It's worth noting, don't put too much grease on here. As we've shown you in the previous video how seized up this bearing was. Of course, that's kind of the movement you want. You want it to be moving nice and free. Tiny bit of grease on the ball joint. Doesn't need much, it's just enough to stop it sort of sticking onto it. So pop this into here and then stick the new bearing on. These have obviously all been cleaned up as well. And as you can see from where we had it earlier, that's far nicer movement, so the clutch release is much better. Tiny bit of grease on here just to enable assembly, make that a little bit easier really, but you don't want too much because it's going to flick all over the clutch. We'll go and get this back in the car and then see what's going on later on.
Benny?
Yeah. And don't actually change to get it free of time.
No?
No. And then it gives us the ability to be able to go and get vehicles wherever.
So Bret's car's all done. Gearbox back in. New flywheel. New clutch line as well. Brakes are all done. We've got calipers all round on it now. So new calipers, new front discs, new front pads. Rear caliper, new pads on the back as well.
But that's relatively easy to do the same what the garage is doing, but in heavy cars. But it's not. Well, yeah, it's.
The downside as well, like we said, thing like obviously I've got
So that's it, a bit of a crazy week. So we have now finished Bret's car. It's all ready for a track day tomorrow. Going to Castle Combe on that. And that's it, really. We'll see you in another episode. I'm a bit fried, so I think that's going to be about it for this video. Hopefully it gives you a little bit of an understanding of what we've done to his car. And I'll see you next time. Take care.